Just a little easy swing, and I want you to stop in that position. Okay, so I'll hold this intact, and I was here. Hey golfers, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to have a look at something that I would say probably 95% of golfers do to some degree. Okay, and we're going to see that elite ball strikers and the guys on TV don't do it. Okay, and that is the chicken wing. All right, and that's what it's called. We're going to dive into a little bit more about why it happens and how to fix it in today's video. I think you'll really enjoy this one. I think it'll really help a lot of you out. And I do want you to video your swing and check and see, once I give you the checkpoints, see if you are suffering with this. Well, then this is really going to help you out. So before we get started with that, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you've been here from the beginning, thank you. And before we get started, if you could, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get going. Okay, so how do you know if you have this chicken wing, right? It's usually caused by scooping and early release, but we'll get into some of that. Basically, video your swing from the front, and when you get to impact, if your arm is bent and the butt of the club here, so the end of the grip, starts to move very close to your body, okay, that's something we're going to see good ball strikers very wide in this position. The other thing that you're going to notice as this happens, this bends, the club will arrive to the ball before your hands. There's no real shaft line happening in there. All right, and another one, this is cause and effect of this, but as you start to look at your swing from down the line, on the through swing, you'll start to see your elbow appear this way instead of that way, and we'll get into that. So the two things we're going to work on are this position and what this lead arm does, okay? So first of all, what causes it? It's sometimes people, I know some people watch this and say, maybe even comment, that the chicken wing or all of this stuff on this side of the ball is a reaction of things before it. And that's correct. Okay. Now, what you usually find is when someone gets to the top and early releases or has a very open face, they try and fix it by letting the club pass the handle, or the handle slowing down, the club speeding up. So that's squared my face, but a very inefficient way to hit it. Now, as that motion continues, we're going to see this arm, because the right hand's pushing that, that's going to bring that elbow up into that position, very narrow, and of course that arm appearing in that fashion. All right, so yes, it is all to do with that, okay, and there's numerous things it can be, but if we learn what it should be like through here and up here in the follow through, what will happen is on the journey to that, this other stuff will start to change. So it's like reverse engineering. I've talked about that before in other videos. If we know where we're supposed to be when we're at the top of the swing, our brain is going to try and comprehend and go, right, okay, that's where he wants me. Well, I can't do it if I'm doing this. So it's going to get me out here. So we can kind of fix a lot of that by thinking something after the ball. In reality, the ball is gone by the time this stuff happens, and it is a consequence from stuff before. But if we think, right, there's where I want to be, there's where I want to be, you'll find it changes your golf swing up to impact. All right. So, and I've seen that happen time and time again. All right. So let's look at the two things that I want you to do to fix this. So the two drills we're going to do, right, we're going to work on that position and this one. What we're going to do is set up, and get away from the iPad a little bit here. Could be an expensive video if I break that one. Okay, set up normal, right hand off. I want you to push your left hand through as much as you can. You're not rotating yet or anything like that. All I'm doing is taking the arm and the shaft that I have at address, and I am pushing it as far away from me, okay? There's no chicken wing going on there. I'm not bent in here and narrow. Complete opposite, really wide. Now what I want to do, I'm still in posture here, I'm still focused down there. I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to start to use some shift in my body, some rotation, as I bring the right hand down onto the grip. Okay, so here, through, if I don't rotate and shift, I can't get my hand over there, so I have to start to move, I have to start to turn to meet that hand. Okay, now that's much more width coming through here, and this is something we're going to see from really good ball strikers, because they're going to hold some angles in the downswing and release it out on this side. All right, so run that one more time. and I'll show you how to practice this stuff too. So here, reach out as far as you can, a little bit of shift, a little bit of rotation, and get that hand onto that grip. Okay, and I'll show you it from this angle. Here, out as far as I can, shift, rotate and grab. Okay, now that's step one. So here's what I want you to try and do. I'm going to hit some shots like this, and I'll get into the next bit in a second. So here, you can kind of hover the club above the ball, reach out, reach over, get a feeling first, then come back, just a little easy swing, and I want you to stop in that position. Okay, so I'll hold this intact, and I was here. Okay, no chicken wing and adding loft, pure strike, not maximizing our distance. Okay, really cool drill. I've seen it work tremendously well. As soon as I video somebody after doing this a few times, I like to reference it sometimes as to how far the butt of the club is from the left hip. So trying to get that good width when we reach across. Okay, so that's number one. Let's look at number two, into how we're going to fix this arm and teach it to behave properly on the way through instead of that. Okay, so we're going to learn what to do from that position with the arm the rest of the way, because what we don't want to do is have this nice width and never let that arm actually release that way. Okay, so we're going to throw the club out of the way for a second. We're going to set up, go to our nice wide position. Okay, now what I want you to think about is bicep curl. All right, I should really do a couple of scrawny little arms. So here, bicep curl as you finish your rotation. You see I'm in this position now. Okay, now if I put a club in my hand as I do that, here's the trick. There, okay, bicep curl, rotate to the point where the butt of the club would point down the target. Okay, so this is training your actually left shoulder to move what's called externally and not internal, never letting this happen, because you see if I come in, chicken wing, bit of scoop, I could never get that club to face the target. It's typically going to finish that way. All right, so left hand only again, nice and wide. Okay, reach over. Now, if you're anything like me and you like to wear a good quality leather glove when you're playing golf, but don't fancy the high price tag, well, go and check out my channel sponsors page, gxgolfgloves.com. Really good quality glove at a fraction of the cost. Use code David at checkout and you'll save yourself a nice little bit of cash as well. Curl that, butt of the club pointing down the target. Okay, so from this angle, you're going to see here, nice position, that way. Okay, and it will carry on obviously to this position in the finish, but trying to get that to point down the target. Okay, that's going to train this arm to move in the correct fashion. So here, nice and wide, that way, not this way, and pulling more here. Okay, so when all's said and done and you've done the first bit, I want you to start to tie this into two feelings. I know this is tricky, but it will help. So one, feel, two. Okay, then a nice easy shot. Get the feeling. There, and I've tried to point that down. I don't really care where the ball goes, but I'm trying to work on those two things specifically. Now, back to my initial question. This is caused by something earlier in the swing, but I can guarantee you, your brain will change your downswing in order to do this, because if you're in here and it's down, it's scooped, club before the grip, this, well, you're not going to go from here and then magically fix that. It's all going to happen because you think of it's called reverse engineering. So your brain's working it out, right? Well, he wants me in those two positions. So without thinking about it, it'll work on getting you better in down here to be able to get that achieved after impact. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about the golf swing or any questions about this video in particular, please just drop them in the comments. You know I'm more than happy to come back and help you out. And before we go, if you haven't done so already, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.